we go to a game with 2 backup quarterbacks.
Oh, man.
Let's go to the Swamp. Florida State at Florida. Feels so bad for Jordan Travis. This is just a terrible situation. This is a guy who's brought this program or helped bring this program from the depths to the heights. And now he's not going to be there. And Tate Rodemaker's got to win them 2 games to get them in the college football playoff. But on the other side, Graham Mertz, and I think the way Graham Mertz got hurt is probably emblematic of his season. He's been a warrior for Florida. He's been great given the circumstances. And he just dump trucks 2 people, breaks his collarbone in the middle of it. And by the way, so tough that he didn't even realize he broke his collarbone and ran another play. But yeah, so we're going to have Tate Rodemaker versus Max Brown in this game.
Man, we was robbed. Jordan was having a great year. And I tell you what, Graham Mertz, to me, was one of the biggest surprises of the college football season and the way he played. You watch his tape at Wisconsin. You can say what you want about the system. This is a different guy, man. Something about Florida, just the Florida weather, I think. It just does it to people. I don't know. I think it just makes you better.
We'll be back with more picks, but first, let me tell you about Game Time. Download that Game Time app. Use the code Staples. Get $20 off your first purchase. Do you want to see the Michigan-Ohio State game in the Big House this weekend? You can get tickets on Game Time right now. That game's been sold out forever. You can get tickets on Game Time right now. You click the seat you want to look at. You will get an image of your vantage point in the stadium, exactly what it will look like where you are sitting in the stadium. So you can pick that out. Couple more taps. The ticket is yours. Maybe you want to go see the Civil War in Eugene, Oregon. Game Time's got that one too. Not as pricey as the game, but still going to be thrilling. Oregon State versus Oregon. Oregon trying to clinch that spot in the Pac-12 title game. Or maybe you just want to go to the Iron Bowl. Alabama and Auburn, Jordan-Hare Stadium. We know weird things happen in Jordan-Hare, even when the home team is an underdog. Well, guess what? Game Time has tickets to that too, because Game Time has tickets to everything. Sporting events, concerts, comedy shows, theater, you name it. Game Time has it. It's so easy to sign up, so easy to get your tickets. You can transfer them on game day using a text message. They take all the stress out of last-minute ticket buying. I mean, think about it. It's pretty last minute if you want to go to Ohio State and Michigan. But you can go with Game Time. So download that app. Use the code Staples. $20 off your first purchase.
You know, when I look at this matchup, number one, Andy, if Florida State wins their next 2 games, they need to be in the playoff. Yeah. I don't think there should be any discussion. It's not. Jordan Travis was a huge piece, obviously the biggest piece on Florida State, but you can't take away what the other guys have done. And if you're perfect, you're perfect. Now, do I think they're going to be undefeated going into the college football playoff? No, but I don't think it's going to be because they lost to Florida. I think they're going to lose to Louisville, who to me just that loss to Pitt just stings even worse now if you're a Louisville fan. But when I look at this matchup, Tate Rodemaker does have some experience. Max Brown's going to struggle to throw the ball. You're going to see more quick screens in this game than you've ever seen in your life in the past. Get ready for this. There's not going to be a whole lot of let's get to the third read or let's get to the check down. It's either going to be, hey, first read's not there, you're gone, especially if you see man and their backs turned, or hey, I'm gonna make the decision for you, right? We're going to run screens and RPOs that make it easy on you to read. Third in passing, then we'll get into some of the more drop back stuff where you got to use your eyes and be able to scan back and forth. But again, the under 51.5 in this game, why would I not take that? I think it's one of the best bets on the board, especially with them playing safe. Here's my biggest worry if I'm a Florida fan. I know Florida's got a good run game. It's a good run game. Right, especially when they're getting vertical.
But that box is going to be loaded.
It's going to be loaded. I mean, it's going to be a warehouse. There's going to be so many loaded boxes in there. But when you look at what's going to take place down the field, you're going to get 9 to 10, 11 to 12 play drives. Right, that new clock rule, it's going to be running. But at what point does Tate Rodemaker just have to get the ball up to Johnny Wilson or Keon Coleman or Jaheim Bell? I think the run game's going to be fine with Benson. He's a good back. I look at Florida and I see Pearsall. All right. I like Eugene Wilson too. He's a good player, but I see Pearsall.
Eugene Wilson's he's one of those quick screen guys. And I'm telling you, Florida State's
ball, Andy.
Florida State's defensive staff is going to go, we're fine 3 and just hit him off the line of scrimmage because the ball's coming to him within half a second.
That's exactly right. I'm not worried about him too far down the field. They haven't, especially with Max Brown, they're not going to put him in that situation. It's going to be a lot of quick stuff to Pearsall and Eugene Wilson, right? So is Florida State just going to keep everything in front? Are they going to make them march down the field and kick field goals? That, to me, I just feel like Florida State at the end of the day does have more weapons than Florida has. And again, go back to what we said earlier. This is one of those games where, just like the Nebraska-Iowa game, I feel like a team is going to lose this game, not win it. Who makes the most mistakes? I think it is going to be Florida, even though it's at home. And I think Florida State, they can turn too many 50-50 balls into 80-20 balls with that giraffe running around on the outside and Johnny Wilson, and then Keon Coleman, the magician, and then Jaheim Bell's just waiting to have a huge game. It's coming at some point where he has one of those big 3 touchdowns games with over 100 yards. They can hand him the ball off too when they get down there. So I tell you what, man, I like Florida State in this game, but you know what? Give me Florida to cover, Florida State to win.
Okay. Here's why I'm not going to do that. I've watched Florida's defense play all year.
Mm-hmm.
And I imagine, because I just saw them against Luther Burden and Theo Weiss. And Keon Coleman and Johnny Wilson are a supercharged version of that. Yeah. So even if it's not Brady Cook, it's Tate Rodemaker throwing him the ball. First of all, what we've seen from Tate Rodemaker in the limited times we've gotten to see him, Louisville last year, the North Alabama game this year, he's looked pretty good. We've never seen him with a chance to practice with the ones, so we don't know what that looks like. But my guess is Florida State's going to look okay. I don't know that they will be as dynamic as they are with Jordan Travis in there, but I think they will be a pretty good version of themselves. And Florida's defense is just not equipped to stop that. And so I'll take Florida State to cover. I'm with you. I worry more about Florida State against Louisville. And here's where I'd really worry if I'm Florida State. If Louisville loses to Kentucky this week, Louisville's going to come out hair on fire next week.
Yeah.
If Louisville can finally snap that losing streak against Kentucky, maybe they relax and like, oh, we're going to go play a backup quarterback.
Yeah.
Now I realize Louisville did get beat by that backup quarterback last year, and some of those players are still there. But that's it. If I'm Florida State, I'm like, go Louisville this week, beat the hell out of Kentucky, and get comfortable, because then we can beat you next week.
I would much rather you be coming off a win than a loss, when, again, you're embarrassed and pissed off. But I'll say this real quick about Louisville, Andy. How cool is it to see Jeff Brom coach team? And we think of Louisville, you kind of think of finesse, right? Like spread it out. Hey, it's a shootout. We won 45-42. Louisville's gritty, man. Oh, yeah. They're a downhill. They beat Notre Dame up front like it was nothing. Defensive-wise, I think they've punched above their weight about as much as anybody, but they win games at the line of scrimmage. If you want to have a bar fight, they will walk outside in the alley and we'll throw hands. Like, Louisville's typically not like that. They just want to dance around you and wear you out and then sneak you with one. But no, this team's different, man. And again, I go back to that Pitt loss. Imagine if we were talking about an undefeated Louisville team right now, possibly facing an undefeated Florida State team. But I think Brom deserves to win one of the 3,500 Coach of the Year awards.
Yeah, agreed. Thank you so much for watching. Just a reminder, subscribe to this channel right here so you never miss an episode of Andy Staples On 3. And oh, by the way, watch all the other great videos on the On3 Sports YouTube channel.